The whole concept of the distillery was to produce a single malt Scotch whisky of Outer Hebridean origin. This distillery started producing spirit in August 2008. Before then, there was no legal distilleries in the whole of the Outer Hebrides. The term legal, it's an act of parliament that gave us the definition distillery or single malt Scotch whisky. And it was the first hearing of the act was in the 1820s. Before the 1820s, there was 2 known distilleries on the island, but there was a lot more whisky being made. Again, we have to remember there was no definition to make them illegal or legal, if you know where I'm coming from. So this is the first legal distillery ever in the Outer Hebrides. We're a small producer, and it's almost like a traditional distillery going back 100 years. Very small, reflecting on the region that the distillery's based in. Okay, the people, the type of peat and the maltings. You've got your malting shots, your water abstraction, and also the maturation. So all these things all these elements play a big part in the final product, as well as the people making the whiskey as well. Firstly, the site was chosen because of its location. You're right on the west coast of Lewis. Next stop is North America. Up there we have no agriculture, we have no housing, we have no industry, we have nothing up the back where we draw our water from. The water is of a very, very high quality. It's very, very soft, and it's ideal for making single malt Scotch whisky. The other thing we have to be aware or made aware of is maturation, where we are just now. These casks are breathing. They're roughly losing 2% of their alcohol strength per annum and a percentage of the bulk litres. That's going that away, okay? It's very famous. There's even films about it, the Angel's Share, okay? The Angel's Share, that's why all the angels are above Scotland, because of all the maturing whisky or spirit. There's a big heather influence here. You're also right beside the beach. You've got a salty influence, and the mountains are right on our back as well. So it's a combination of all these environmentals that make up part or elements of the taste of the whisky. As does the cask, the wood, as the fermentation, the type of yeast, and the type of mashing, type of water, and the type of distillation, you know. I would like to think what I'm giving you or in a glass or in a bottle is a true reflection of the Outer Hebrides in liquid form. That's the taste I'm trying to give you. There's a sweetness to it. There's a slight peatiness and peatiness to the thing. There's a smokiness. I would say it's got a good roundness to it, as whisky should be. As it's moving on, as it's getting close to the 10-year-old, it's developed a certain signature characteristic unique to the area. Whisky, I think it's a great product of Scotland. It's something where we can support agriculture from the very start of the process with the plough. We're only borrowing the barley for a short period of time to take the good bits out of it, the sugar and the starch, to make uisgewe or whisky in English. And then the waste products, again, go back to the animals, goes back into the ground. It's a nice tight circle. It's a nice circle. I know in more recent times we've gone about the environment and renewables and recycling, but you know, the production of whisky has traditionally been, you're all tied into agriculture. Let's not forget, without agriculture, we ain't got it. And I think we lose a lot of that today, you know. It comes from the ground, the product comes from the ground, and then the waste, whether it's by a cow or by a whatever animal, goes back into the ground. So that cycle hasn't been broken at all.